Good afternoon, everyone. We recently hit 1,000 subs here on this channel. I want to thank everyone for your support. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. It has been tremendously helpful. I appreciate you supporting my platform. And today, we need to talk about the delusional Brian Stelter of CNN. He recently did a segment where he was very upset that there is many right-wing conservative media outlets that are bringing into question Joe Biden's mental fitness. And I guess according to Brian Stelter, these claims that Joe Biden is mentally unfit to be president are completely unfounded. There's absolutely no evidence, according to the delusional Brian Stelter, that Joe Biden's mental fitness is not up to par. And then he said that there's all these right-wing media outlets solely exist to tear down Joe Biden, and the equivalent of that does not exist on the left. There is no media outlets on the left that exist to tear down Joe Biden because, of course, according to the delusional Brian Stelter, his own show is unbiased. CNN is unbiased. MSNBC is unbiased. And they haven't spent the greater part of the last 4 years bringing Donald Trump's mental fitness into question.
Aaron, your view of this, when you see entire media companies essentially exist to tear down Joe Biden, is there an equivalent to that on the left tearing down Trump?
There really isn't.
The lack of self-awareness here is unreal. Does Brian Stelter even watch his own show? Has he ever seen CNN? Has he ever seen MSNBC? So I took it upon myself to give him a little reminder of some of the content that he has had on his own show, as well as CNN and MSNBC. Just watch.
President Trump's fitness for office is now the top story in the country. Reporters and some lawmakers are openly talking about the president's mental stability, his health, his competency. He's getting worse. We can all see it. It's happening in public. But it's still a very hard, very sensitive story to cover. I'm talking, of course, about President Trump, about his behavior, about his instability. Before our very eyes, he said, quote, Republicans need to face up to the fact that the president is mentally unstable and psychologically unfit.
Explosive book Fire and Fury is giving lawmakers more momentum to question whether President Trump is mentally fit for office, they say.
Explosive book Fire and Fury that, among other things, questions the president's fitness for office and his mental state.
Former senator from New Hampshire. I'm sorry, sir. But when it comes to Trump, you have called him mentally deranged.
So as you could see, Brian Stelter, along with the other reporters over at CNN and MSNBC, have dedicated nearly the last 4 years to questioning Donald Trump's mental fitness. But the second some of the right-wing news outlets, some of the conservative news outlets suggest that Biden is mentally unfit to be president, then there is just this incredible bias. And the left doesn't do any of this. There's no news stations on the left that are dedicated to questioning Donald Trump's mental fitness, to tearing down Donald Trump. And it is just these biased, conservative, right-wing media outlets that are questioning Biden's mental fitness without any reason to do so at all. So to show you just a little tidbit about why some of these right-wing media outlets might be questioning Biden's mental fitness, just watch this.
I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
And now this is just a hunch here. Maybe this is why some of these right-wing media outlets are questioning Biden's mental fitness when you can't even get through a sentence, when you can't even tell the American people in a scripted interview that you're probably reading off a teleprompter that you have the mental fitness to be president. Then there might be some issues here. And this isn't just one isolated interview where Biden has a hard time getting through sentences. It's almost every single interview that you see Biden engaged in. And Biden does very few interviews. To put this in perspective, I mean, you're lucky if you get to see Biden once a week. In almost every single interview, you get these moments where Joe Biden forgets what he's saying, where he has this blank stare on his face, where he's waving at the teleprompter because it froze up and he doesn't remember at all what he's supposed to say unless he's just reading it off of a teleprompter or just glancing down and reading it off of his notes. Maybe this is why a lot of these right-wing media outlets are questioning Joe Biden's mental fitness. And then Brian Stelter goes on to show a clip of Joe Biden riding a bike, as he refers to this as vigorous physical activity. Just watch.
This is Joe Biden out there on a vigorous bike ride. Not wearing a helmet, but definitely wearing a mask, by the way.
So now, according to Brian Stelter, riding a bicycle downhill on a perfectly smooth paved road is considered vigorous physical activity. And I kind of give Brian Stelter a pass on this because it is a matter of opinion. It is a matter of perception in what you would determine as vigorous physical activity. And when you look at Brian Stelter, he doesn't exactly strike you as a fitness buff. So according to Brian Stelter, I'm sure for him it might be very vigorously physical to just balance on a bicycle as it is going downhill on a perfectly smooth paved road. And I'm sure Brian Stelter would consider taking long walks to the fridge as you're binge watching CNN. That might also be considered vigorous physical activity. Anyway, Brian Stelter, as you can see, is completely out of touch with reality. He lives in an alternate universe where there is no left-wing media outlets that exist to attack Donald Trump. It just shows how out of touch with reality the left-wing media really is. Anyway, hope you like my video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe, and I will see you all next time.